Today you're going to hear my rant on how important two-factor authentication backup keys are. I'm Steve, this is TQA Weekly, and if you are an iPhone user and you have yet to update to iOS 14.2, don't. Especially if you are a Google Authenticator user, before you listen to this episode and learn what you need to do to avoid my situation that I just went through. I used to use Google Authenticator. Unfortunately, like most of their projects, they haven't updated in 2 years. The last time they updated was to promote compatibility with iPhone X. It's been a while, Google. The application finally crashed once I installed iOS 14.2 and I can no longer access the information within, and because they do not have a backup, deleting and reinstalling will not allow me to recover any of those keys. So turning it off and on again in this case is worthless. It also means that I had to spend 2 days proving to MailChimp, despite having SSL that certifies my identity on the connected websites, as well as my phone number in the account and my address in the account, having access to the correct username and password and access to the email account. You would think that would be enough. So it took me 2 days to prove who I was. So of course, some companies are just being pricks about their security policies when there's a lot more information out there that allows me to prove who I am. It is incredibly important to maintain these backup keys because you can easily lose access to accounts and never regain access to your accounts in many cases. Because of such security policies, even with all the information available to them, they might not believe who you are. And many companies make it incredibly hard to save these backup keys in a format that is searchable, which is shame on them. Saving it as a picture is worthless to most people because it's not searchable, meaning that for many people, it may be impossible to find those files, even if they maintain a backup on 3 places and 2 types of mediums. So obviously, having backups is important. It being searchable is even more important. Now, how did I solve the problem after having to prove who I was? I would like to point out that TOTP standards are not just related to Google Authenticator. No matter how much people want you to believe that, it's not true. You can use programs like Authy, LastPass Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and anything else that is compatible with the two-factor authentication Google standard, and that will allow you to have access to your accounts with special bonuses. While having the backup keys are important, Authy, LastPass Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and all that save to the cloud, meaning that if you lose your phone from theft, dropping in a sewer, car explodes, your house catches fire, or anything crazy happens, you will still have access to those keys once you get another device and install those applications on there and just log in, meaning that you are not completely screwed, unlike with Google Authenticator. So if you are using an iPhone and use Google Authenticator and you have yet to install iOS 14.2, switch Authenticator now before it's too late. Because once you switch over to Microsoft Authenticator, Authy, or anything else, you will have access to your accounts and you won't be in the same position I was. Because when you are switching Authenticator and still have access to it, you are not screwed. You still have access to your accounts. But once you lose access, you might lose access. Maybe forever. So, before you update, just heed that warning. Switch Authenticator and save yourself so much trouble. And I want you to like this episode if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those that can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. Write down in the comments your nightmares with iOS 14.2 and Google Authenticator if you have any, and of course, don't forget to go over to my website at tqaweekly.com for show notes on this episode, past others, find other ways of subscribing, and of course, sending an email directly to me using the contact form. And if you want to watch me play video games, go to twitch.tv/zaxis1981 where I play 3 or more times a week. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.